If you give them wood, they'll give you wood chips. Welcome to another episode of Self-Employed Success Secrets, Wednesday edition. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how if you're useful, you will get paid. If you give them wood, you'll get wood chips. Behind me is a tree, okay? There's a lot of different things you can do with a tree. You can turn it into a house, you can keep it in a park. You could use it to make other materials and supplies. The list goes on. Okay. And that's the point of this video, is if you can prove to be useful, you'll get the benefits of usefulness, okay? You'll get paid. This is why you shouldn't just do things just for money, because you kind of defeat the purpose of why you're doing it, okay? People pay for stuff because the thing they're paying for is worth more than money. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. People pay for things because the thing they're paying for is worth more than money, okay? People pay for competence, for confidence, for experience, for intelligence, for connections, okay? For creativity. That's what people pay for. You can't put a dollar on that amount, okay? So really, when people pay you, they're paying for your own perceived self-worth. That's really deep, and we'll probably get into another get into that subject in another episode. But the point of this episode is that if you're useful, if you're strong, if you provide future value, like a tree behind me, like the wood. If you provide wood, you'll get wood chips. Cash is wood chips. Cash is just a byproduct of you doing work for somebody that's useful. Okay. There's a saying, if you make yourself useful, the world will give you bread, okay? And your standard of living, how good you're living, will match and oftentimes exceed your standard of giving. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Your standard of living will match your standard of giving, okay? If you give, it will come back to you. That's in the Bible. And so just keep that in mind as you're living your life. Don't focus on wood chips, focus on being the wood. Focus on being strong, stable, having future value, being creative, having creative usage, being flexible. And you will get paid if you do these things. Stop going in and looking at the wood chips saying, what can I do to get more wood chips? And ask yourself, what can I do to be more like wood? Solid, relatable, sustainable. You know, these trees, they shield us from like the intense heat. How can you metaphorically shield other people from intense heat in their lives? How can you give someone respite and comfort? Okay, these trees right around me represent all these things, and God is always speaking. God is speaking to these trees right now, telling you that, hey, you know, if you're like a tree, if you're strong and stable and people can rely on you, you can provide something useful and beautiful at the same time. People love what's beautiful. Okay, you should really go into their lives and make it more beautiful, because life is so brutal. That's one reason for making these episodes, is to help make your life less brutal and more beautiful. Okay, if you're strong and solid and you're straight up, the same way a tree is, you will get people to want to work with you. And if you do it consistently, be just like these trees and don't complain. When hard times come, when it's rainy and stormy, these trees don't complain. They're just there all the time. If you mimic them, mimic their value. Not saying you're a tree. If you mimic their characteristics out in the world, you'll be more successful in what you're doing. You'll have a successfully, sustainably happy enterprise to have the life you want, okay? And not have to worry about things, okay? Because you're taking people's worries away. If you can take people's worries away, you won't have anything to worry about. People want clarity, they want certainty, okay? They want correct information, all right? And that way you're being like a tree, you're giving them certainty. This tree is probably gonna be here tomorrow, no matter what comes tonight, all right? But if you give them wood, if you want wood chips, give them wood, okay? If you want wood chips, give them wood. They will transmute your value and give it back to you in a different way. So deep. If you give them wood, they'll give you wood chips. Okay? They will take your useful information, transmute it, meaning put it into like a blender, put it through this metamorphosis process, and you will get that value oftentimes back more than what you put in. Okay, if you're a painter, you're giving your wood, you're giving them a certain result. The tree's gonna be here tomorrow. You can just like, this is exactly how the service is gonna play out. They will turn that value the same way if you were to turn this tree into a house. They will transmute it, turn your value into something that's valuable for you. Okay? If you give them wood, they'll give you wood chips. Think about this. Stop focusing on the wood chips. Okay, stop focusing on the wood chips. Give them wood. Give them wood. Give them wood. Give them wood. Give them useful, valuable, comfortable, beautiful services, and watch it come back to you in a beautiful way and in a different form. Okay, because your standard of living is going to match and oftentimes exceed your standard of giving. Okay, bye.